There's something not quite right about my roommate. When we play games, he loves having me sit on his lap, and he's fond of hugging me and calling me baby. Once, when I saw him casually washing my underwear for me, I couldn't hold it in any longer. Don't do things like that anymore. It makes me uncomfortable. He looked at me with innocent eyes. Isn't this what good bros are supposed to do for each other? Later, when he pinned me to the bed and kissed me until I cried, I sobbed, my eyes glistening. Is this also something good bros do for each other? My roommate let out a low chuckle, his fingertip tracing the corner of my lips. Not good brothers, boyfriends. Now, let's dive into this super sweet story. In the bathroom, Liam was scrubbing a thin piece of fabric in his hands. The soap suds clung to his long, slender, pale fingers, looking particularly striking. My throat tightened, and I reached out and snatched it from him. What are you doing? Liam looked up at me. Didn't you scrape your hand? I'm helping you with your laundry. The piece of fabric, now carefully cleaned by him, felt like a hot potato in my hand. A wave of embarrassment washed over me, and I whispered, "Don't do things like that anymore. It makes me really uncomfortable." What's the big deal? Liam's eyes were pure innocence. Isn't this what good bros do for each other? I froze, starting to doubt myself. Is that right? Am I making a big deal out of nothing? Are roommate relationships in the city really this close? They'll eat each other's leftovers without a second thought, hug their roommate, and have them sit on their lap while gaming, and even wash something as personal as underwear for each other? My mind involuntarily flashed back to that one night. Liam's bed had gotten soaked with water, and he insisted on squeezing into my single bed with me, wrapping his arm around my waist and calling me baby. Are these all things that bros do for each other? Leaving the bathroom, I couldn't help but pull out my phone and post on a social media site, seeking help from the vast online community. My roommate insists on cuddling me to sleep every night, and he just washed my underwear for me. Is this normal? It wasn't long before the comment section exploded. Well, I'm pretty sure Sherlock never washed Watson's underwear. Hee, doesn't that thermos behind you get uncomfortable at night? I'd advise you to delete this. The story addicts will smell this from a mile away and swarm this post. I don't know what your relationship is, but I know my own account. Smiles, darling, I recommend the low-sodium soy sauce. And be sure to send me a clip when you're done. What on earth is this comment section? I couldn't help but reply to the top-liked comment. We're both straight. Instantly, a new wave of replies appeared below. Don't believe it, don't believe it, don't believe it. You can lie to your bros, but don't lie to yourself. In a men's dorm, the only thing that's straight is the bed frame. I closed the app and let out a sigh. What now? I'm even more confused. I tossed my phone aside and stood up to take down the bed sheets that were drying on the balcony. Liam is always so clumsy, he can even spill water on his sheets just by drinking. The key thing is, this wasn't the first or second time. Whenever his sheets were wet, he would have to squeeze in with me at night. How can someone be so incapable of learning a lesson? I shook my head and spread the dry sheets on his bed for him. There were wrinkles, so I had to kneel at the edge of the bed, leaning over to smooth them out. There, he washed my clothes, I made his bed. We're even now. I backed away, satisfied, when a large hand suddenly pressed against my lower back. I froze and turned my head, my eyes meeting Liam's deep gaze. My heart skipped a beat. What is it? I stammered. Liam's fingertips gently caressed the small of my back, the cool touch making me jump. I panicked, grabbing his hand and immediately turning to face him. What are you doing? His Adam's apple bobbed, his voice a few shades huskier. The dimples of Venus. He repeated in a low voice. You have 2 dimples on your lower back. So what? They're just the right size for my fingertips, he whispered, his eyes locked on mine. Are you crazy? I snapped back dismissively. Oh, I've never even noticed. I paused. Hey, I made your bed for you. You can sleep in it tonight. I casually smoothed a wrinkle at the edge of the bed, not forgetting to add, try to be more careful and not get it wet again. A glint appeared in Liam's eyes, and he suddenly said, I'm sleeping with you tonight. I nearly bit my tongue and refused. No way. Why not? Don't you like sleeping with me? What the hell? What does this have to do with liking or not liking it? You have your own bed. Why do you have to squeeze in with me? Remembering the comments from the netizens, I hesitated for a moment before speaking. I think it's better if we keep some distance between us. Liam's expression shifted slightly, his voice a little tense. Did someone say something to you? I shook my head. Then you hate me. It's not that. I hesitated for a moment before replying, we're both guys. Being so close all the time feels a bit. My words trailed off as I racked my brain for a more appropriate word. A forced curve appeared on Liam's lips. I get it. He continued, I'm just used to messing around with my friends like this. Sometimes I lose my sense of boundaries. His eyes lowered, his long lashes casting a shadow on his eyelids. Sorry for making you uncomfortable. I looked at him, feeling a bit awkward. It wasn't really that serious. Liam said with a calm expression, don't worry, I'll try to restrain myself from now on. At 9:30 p.m., the quiet dorm room finally had some activity. My tense heart relaxed. Before our other two roommates came back, I thought I was going to suffocate in the oppressive atmosphere. Liam's bunk was the lower one across from mine. If my bed didn't have a curtain, I would have died of embarrassment. I kind of regretted what I said earlier, and I wondered if Liam was angry. Ethan, want some barbecue? Caleb asked, pulling back my curtain after coming in from outside. You guys go ahead. I just brushed my teeth, I replied softly. Caleb nodded and turned to ask Liam. There was no answer from his side for a long time. Liam's asleep early tonight, he mumbled to himself before moving about quietly. I turned to look at the figure lying with his back to me not far away, then silently averted my gaze. The next day when I woke up, I groggily intended to get out of bed to use the bathroom. Just as I was about to step into the restroom, I walked straight into a solid wall of muscle. I let out a small yelp, and when I looked up and saw who it was, my sleepiness vanished instantly. I gave an awkward smile. Good morning. Liam looked down at me, his lips parting. Good morning. In front of the sink, I looked at my reflection with dark circles under my eyes inside. I felt like I didn't know how to face him anymore. Everything felt unnatural. I ruffled my hair in frustration. 4 p.m., the university basketball game. The score was tight when Liam, with a beautiful three-pointer, secured the final victory. Awesome, Liam. His teammates came up one by one, high-fiving and patting his shoulder in celebration. I instinctively looked towards him. In the past, after every basketball victory, Liam would run to me first, sling an arm over my shoulder, and say with a proud arch of his eyebrow, was that shot of mine cool or what? Across the crowd, my eyes met that familiar pair of eyes, and my heart beat a little faster. I instinctively held my breath, only to see those eyes drift away from my face the next second. Watching Liam laughing and joking with his arms around his teammates' necks in the crowd, I was stunned for a moment before silently looking away. So, he wasn't only like that with me. If I had known earlier, I wouldn't have been so sentimental last night. I actually misunderstood and thought Liam had those kinds of intentions towards me. I lowered my eyes, using a towel to wipe the sweat from my neck, a heaviness in my chest. Thinking about the awkward scene from last night, I wanted to punch the me from back then. Hey, student, a tall guy with a buzz cut walked over. He was from the opposing team. What can I do for you? He smiled and said, my name is Keith, a junior from the mechanical engineering department. I saw you playing earlier, you're pretty good. Can we be friends? Seeing his outstretched hand, I shook it in return. Ethan, a sophomore from digital media. So you're my junior, huh? Keith naturally slung an arm around my shoulder. How about we grab dinner together tonight? After just playing basketball, the smell of sweat on everyone wasn't exactly pleasant, not to mention the sticky feeling of skin-on-skin contact. I really couldn't stand it. I subtly leaned away from him. Maybe not, senior. I have to work part-time tonight. Hearing this, he raised an eyebrow at me. As it happens, I know of a job opening. A friend of mine opened a lounge bar near the school, and they're short-staffed. The pay is pretty good. Are you interested in checking it out, junior? Thinking about the tuition fee for the next semester that I was still short on, I hesitated for a moment and then nodded. Keith's lips curled into a smile. Here, let's add each other online. When you're free, I'll take you there directly. I added his contact information and said sincerely, thanks, senior. We're all schoolmates, no need to be so formal. Someone called him from a distance. Keith shook his phone, a smile on his lips. Junior, I'll be waiting for your message. Watching Keith's retreating back, I was about to leave with my phone when a tall figure directly blocked my path from behind. I was a bit surprised and looked up to face Liam's gloomy expression. Who is he? Oh, I paused for a moment before realizing who he was asking about. A senior from the mechanical engineering department. Liam's tense expression softened slightly, and he grunted. He doesn't look like a good person. Since when did he know how to read faces? Liam frowned and said, look at how overly familiar he was. He definitely has bad intentions. Did he add your contact information just now? I nodded. Liam's face darkened, and he said through gritted teeth, I knew it. That kid has no good intentions. You're overthinking it. The senior just introduced me to a part-time job. There's no such thing as a free lunch. If he's not a con artist, he's a creep. But you were like that with me at first, too. Don't tell me you had other intentions. Liam's face stiffened, his voice tense. What? In high school, we weren't that close, right? When we started our freshman year, why were you so nice to me? His eyes narrowed slightly, and he said in a deep voice, we were from the same high school, so I just instinctively looked out for you a bit. A pang hit my heart, but my voice remained calm. Is that all? Yeah. Okay. I took a step back. I'm not talking to you anymore. It's time for my part-time job. Tossing that sentence back, I hurried away without waiting for his reply. The moment I turned my back on him, the feigned composure on my face completely crumbled. What was I even hoping for? He likes girls. I've known that for sure since high school. Ethan, let's go out for a late-night snack when Liam gets back, Leo said, slinging an arm over my shoulder. Our dorm hasn't had a proper gathering in a long time. I'm not going. A senior introduced me to a part-time job. I have to go check it out in a bit. What kind of job? A waiter at a lounge bar. The lounge bar on Southeast Street? That's the one. Leo nodded. All right then. What time will you be back? We'll pack some barbecue for you then. It's okay. You guys go ahead and eat. Downstairs from the dorm, Keith was already waiting by the road. I quickened my pace. Senior, you really didn't have to make a trip. I could have gone by myself. Keith's dark eyes stared at me, and he smiled. It's fine. I was free anyway. At the lounge bar, Keith introduced me to the owner. We discussed the job content, working hours, and salary. With no issues, the job was settled. Everything went quite smoothly, taking only about half an hour. I thanked Keith again and was about to head back to school when he grabbed my arm. Since you're here, why not have a drink with me? I owed him a favor for this. I couldn't very well refuse, so I had to nod. What would you like to drink, senior? Keith leaned in close, his fingertip pausing on the drink menu. A white lady cocktail. The unfamiliar breath tickled my ear, and my whole body tensed up in discomfort. Thankfully, he quickly pulled back. How's your alcohol tolerance, Junior? He asked with interest, propping his chin on one hand. It's average. I don't drink often. Keith let out a soft laugh. It's okay. You'll build up a tolerance if you drink more. I pursed my lips and didn't reply. My phone vibrated in my pocket. I took it out and saw it was a call from Liam. After answering, he asked where I was and when I'd be back. I gave him a few vague answers and hung up. Keith passed me the cocktail I had ordered. Thanks. A call from your boyfriend? Keith asked curiously. I frowned at him, my tone dropping a few degrees. My roommate. Oh, he chuckled, sipping his drink without saying more. That teasing look in his eyes made me feel a little uneasy. I suppressed the discomfort, telling myself I'd leave in a little while. After a few sips of the drink, my body started to feel increasingly hot. I knew my tolerance, and I had ordered a low-alcohol cocktail. Why was I feeling so dizzy? I panted softly, trying to stand up, but my limbs felt weak, and I collapsed directly. The whole world spun. A large hand wrapped around my waist, and the man's cheerful voice sounded in my ear. Junior's tolerance really isn't good. You're drunk already. My whole body was limp, hot, and uncomfortable. My vision blurred in my moist eyes. A large, rough hand roamed over my body, and the already burning heat in me felt like it had been ignited by a flame. "Don't touch me," I rasped, struggling. Keith easily pinned my hands, rendering me immobile. "Junior, from the first moment I saw you, I knew you were just like me." The gentle man had turned into a beast, shedding his mask of false kindness, his true nature revealed as he toyed with the prey in his hands. I crawled away with all my might, only to be grabbed by the ankle and dragged back. A sense of despair washed over me. The room was pierced by a sudden ringing. Like grasping at a final lifeline, I used the last of my strength to reach for the source of the sound. "Liam." The next second, the ringing abruptly stopped, and my heart turned completely cold. Keith held my hands tightly, stripping the clothes off my body, his voice excited. "Don't worry, no one will be able to disturb us tonight." He laughed. "Baby, you've never tasted a man before, have you? I guarantee you'll love it." My fingers weakly clawed at the edge of the bed, tears seeping from the corners of my eyes. Just as my consciousness was about to sink into chaos, a frantic knocking sounded at the door, accompanied by cursing. The weight on me suddenly lightened. I heard the sound of a heavy object crashing to the floor and the sickening thud of fists hitting flesh. I pried open my dazed eyes, my gaze focusing on the figure not far away, who was furiously pinning someone to the ground and beating them. "Liam." The figure suddenly stiffened, then tossed the person in his hands aside like a dirty rag and strode towards me. A familiar scent completely enveloped me. Liam buried his face in my neck, his voice trembling. "It's me." He added, "Ethan, it's me." My whole body felt like it had been fished out of water. The long-suppressed effects of the drug were about to drive me insane. Desire flooded me like a broken dam, and I rubbed myself all over him. "Liam, I'm so uncomfortable." "Don't be scared. I'll take you to the hospital." He picked me up and strode out. I nuzzled into his neck, sobbing softly in discomfort. "Just hold on a little longer, we're almost there." I shook my head, my face a mess of sweat and tears. "Help me, Liam. Please help me." When I woke up, I stared at the messy, chaotic room for a long time. The events of last night came back in fragmented pieces. Keith had drugged my drink, and then Liam had burst in and saved me. Then, the chaotic, shameful images from last night made my face turn pale. Tormented by the drug, I had shamelessly clung to Liam, but even though I had begged him so desperately, losing all self-respect, he hadn't taken advantage of me. He had only used other means to help me find release. I covered my face in shame, not daring to look at the person lying next to me. I dragged my limp body out of bed, picking up the scattered clothes from the floor to put them on. However, before I could leave, a small sound came from behind me. I froze, paused for a few seconds, then turned to face Liam, who was shirtless on the bed. Liam's husky voice broke the silence first. Last night, thank you for saving me," I said, feigning calmness. "I can't believe that bastard was such a scumbag. I was too careless." Liam's face suddenly darkened, clearly remembering the events of last night as well. "I'm going to the hospital later to get checked for drug residue. You can head back to school first." "I'll go with you." Liam got out of bed and strode over to grab my wrist. My gaze landed on his bare body. The thing that had been pressed against me last night was now hanging its head in greeting. I abruptly looked away, feeling a bit awkward. "You should put on some clothes first. I'll wait for you outside." I ran out of the room and leaned against the wall, my cheeks burning hot. At the hospital, I had my blood drawn for testing. After getting the test results, we went straight to the police station to file a report. On the way back, I was a little worried. I wonder what's happened to that scumbag now. He won't turn around and see you for assault, will he? Liam raised an eyebrow, not looking worried at all. Instead, he asked an unrelated question. "Are you worried about me?" His gaze made me feel a little self-conscious. "This happened to you because of me. Isn't it normal for me to be worried?" Liam's lips curved, and he reached out to ruffle my hair. "Don't worry, I know my limits." Back at the dorm, Caleb and Leo were both there. "Where did you two run off to last night? You were gone all night." I recounted what had happened yesterday. Leo's face turned ugly, and he gritted his teeth. "That son of a bitch. daring to touch my brother. I'm going to beat him to a pulp. Caleb, beside him, frowned and asked, "What's that animal's name?" "Keith." "Keith, that name sounds a little familiar." "Wait a minute." Caleb made a phone call and then came back. "I have a friend who rooms with that bastard. He said this guy is a serial offender. He uses deceitful tactics to drug people and take them to hotels to assault them while they're unconscious. After he's done, he uses videos he recorded to blackmail the victims. The victims are all male students, and most of them don't want to make a big deal out of it, so they just let it go." He paused. "That bastard often posts the videos in a group chat to show off. I had my friends send me a copy of the chat logs and videos. This time, we have enough evidence to put this bastard behind bars. Submit the evidence to the police and the school administration for them to handle. If any of the other victims are willing to come forward during this time, that would be even better." Liam's face flashed with a hint of viciousness. "We absolutely can't let this societal scum continue to get away with his crimes." Caleb nodded, his tone cold. "With both witnesses and physical evidence, the charges of molestation and distributing obscene material are enough to make him suffer." Seeing my roommates standing up for me one by one, a warmth spread through my heart. "Thank you, guys." Leo slung an arm around me, his face full of righteous indignation. "We're all brothers. What's there to think?" After speaking, his face froze, his eyes darting back and forth between me and Liam. "Hey, why are both of your necks so red?" My heart skipped a beat. My eyes landed on Liam's face, only to see him staring blankly at my neck. Leo squinted. "You too, last night." He trailed off. "Hey, if you're going to a motel, at least pick a good one. Look at you, all bitten up by mosquitoes." The heart that had been in my throat fell back into my belly. The sound of water in the bathroom masked my movements. I closed my eyes, my breathing slightly ragged, my mind filled with thoughts of him. That night, my back was pressed against his chest, his strong arms trapping me tightly. We were like vines, intertwining wantonly, the burning flame threatening to consume me completely. To the sound of the running water, I tilted my head back, my muscles trembling uncontrollably. The world around me seemed to go silent, my mind a blank slate. My chest heaved up and down as I tried to even out my breathing. However, a worried call suddenly came from outside the bathroom, startling me. "Ethan, I'm coming in." My eyes snapped open, my mind instantly clearing. The bathroom door was broken. If Liam barged in, then my current state. My mind buzzed, and in my haste I rushed out, trying to block the door. As a result, my foot slipped, and I fell flat on my butt. At the same time, the bathroom door was pushed open from the outside. I'm doomed. My heart sank like ash. I closed my eyes. "I called you many times, but you didn't answer. I was afraid something had happened to you, so I barged in," Liam explained in a hoarse voice. I buried my face in the pillow and didn't answer him. What could I even say? That I was too engrossed in my manual labor to hear him? Damn it, this is the most humiliating thing that has ever happened to me in my entire life. A hand rested on the small of my back. Liam said in a low voice, "Did you hurt yourself when you fell?" "Let me see." My face flushed red, and I turned my head to glare at him. "I don't need you to." Liam lowered his eyes to hide a smile, coaxing me. "Be good, don't be mad." "Let me see." With that, he grabbed my struggling hand and pulled down my shorts. The numb, hot flesh of my buttocks was exposed to the air, making it tremble involuntarily. From above me came Liam's hoarse voice. "It's bruised." While Liam was applying an ice pack, I kept my back to him the entire time. The awkward air solidified. Liam suddenly spoke up. "Is it possible the effects of the drug from that night haven't worn off yet?" I took a deep breath, my mind spinning. It's been 3 days since that night. 3 days? Damn, even if I had eaten a whole box of Viagra, it would have been out of my system by now. This lame excuse he was giving me made it even harder for me to face him. My fingers clenched the pillow, my teeth nearly grinding to dust. If he hadn't been walking around shirtless after his shower tonight, would I have had these wicked thoughts? Ever since that incident, it was as if Liam had cast a spell on me. Not only were my dreams filled with him, but even during the day, When I saw him tilt his head back to drink water or do push-ups in the room, my body would heat up uncontrollably. I finally faced my desires. I'm gay, and I like Liam. But he's straight. Even if I stood naked in front of him, he wouldn't be moved. A sour feeling welled up in my heart. What's the use of liking him? If he found out about this kind of abnormal affection, he would probably find me disgusting. I avoided Liam for a whole day, but by night, I couldn't escape anymore. Liam waved me over. Come here, let me put some ointment on for you. I was toweling my still dripping hair as I walked straight out of the bathroom, refusing. No need. Liam frowned slightly, blocking my path. What are you sulking about? I averted my gaze, my voice listless. I'll do it myself later. Do it yourself? Can your hand even reach? It's none of your business. I climbed directly onto my bed and drew the curtain. It was only when I was applying the ointment that I realized how awkward this position was. Thank goodness for the curtain. I suppressed my embarrassment and fumbled to apply the ointment. The bed creaked slightly. Before I could react, a figure quickly slipped in. My eyes met that pair of burning hot eyes, and I abruptly pulled my hand back, both ashamed and angry. Who said you could come up here? Liam's eyes darkened, his voice growing husky. Is there any part of you I haven't seen? He reached out and pulled me over, squeezing the ointment into his palm and rubbing it warm. Lie still. If it hurts, just cry out. My face stiffened. Wait a minute. Why does that sound so wrong? However, the next second, my scalp tingled. I forcefully grabbed his arm, my voice trembling. It hurts. Be gentler. The hand on my butt paused for a moment, and Liam's husky, somewhat suggestive voice entered my ear. Be good. I have to rub it in for the bruise to heal faster. Is he crazy? Then what did he mean by, if it hurts, just cry out? I couldn't believe just applying ointment could leave me drenched in sweat. The soft flesh of my butt was rubbed until it was burning hot. Finally, I couldn't help but beg. No more, Liam. I paused. Can we continue tomorrow? And I'm almost done. Just hold on a little longer. The curtain was suddenly pulled open. Leo stared at us with wide eyes. Damn, what are you two doing in there? If I said we were just applying ointment, would you believe me? Looking at the number tag on my shirt and the girls sitting across from me who kept sizing me up, I looked at Leo with a sense of helplessness. This isn't a dorm gathering, is it? It's clearly a mixer. Leo raised an eyebrow and lowered his voice. Last night, I heard the commotion from you two in the room. It nearly scared me to death. For a moment, I thought our dorm had gotten so desperate that you two had turned to each other. He paused. But then again, you and Liam are young and full of vigor. Two hot-blooded guys, single for so long, you'd find a monkey attractive. Not to mention you two are stuck together day in and day out. It wouldn't be surprising if something happened one day. He patted my shoulder. As your big brother, I haven't been doing my duty. I should have taken you guys out to broaden your social circles sooner. You two wouldn't have been single for so long. I said, feeling a bit of a headache. Leo, I'm not really looking to get into a relationship right now. How old are you? How long are you going to put it off? If you don't find someone in college, it'll be even harder once you start working. He insisted, trust me, you won't go wrong listening to me. Leo glanced around. See that girl in the pink dress over there? She's from the literature department. Isn't she cute? You can tell she'd be a good match for you. Don't say I didn't think of you. After saying that, Leo gave me a look and then left. I sighed softly, but my eyes couldn't help but drift to Liam, who was surrounded by a group of girls not far away. As expected, no matter the time or place, he was always the center of attention. I pulled my gaze back, a heavy feeling in my chest. A few girls tried to strike up a conversation with me, but I wasn't interested. I glanced at the time, sent a message to Leo, and prepared to leave. Hey, student, a tall, slender girl blocked my path. You look so young, she said, unable to resist leaning closer. Wow, your skin is even fairer than mine. How do you usually take care of it? I shook my head. I don't. I think I mostly get it from my mom. The girl was stunned, then burst out laughing. I said nothing, not quite understanding what was so funny. She picked up a pen from the table and wrote a string of numbers on my arm. My name is Lily. Remember to contact me when you get back. I turned towards the door, and my eyes met Liam, who was leaning against the doorframe, smoking. I didn't understand why he would leave that group of girls to come out here. Is he leaving already? I pulled my gaze away and walked past him, heading out. Quite popular, aren't you? The person smoking beside me suddenly said. I stopped and turned to look at him. His words were out of nowhere, and I didn't know what he meant. After a few seconds of him not saying anything else, I ignored him and walked straight towards the school. Back at the dorm, I realized I didn't have my key. The dorm room door was locked, and Caleb wasn't back yet. I turned to look at the person who had been silently following me. I don't have my key. He heard me and took the key out of his pocket, handing it to me. After opening the door, I went in first. I fumbled for the light switch on the wall, and the room lit up. I was about to turn around when I was blocked by a wall of flesh. Weren't you having a great time talking to people just now? Why come back so early? Liam looked down at me, his sarcastic tone making me a little annoyed. Weren't you the same? What's wrong? With so many people, not a single one caught your eye. Liam's face was ugly as he retorted coldly, I'm not like some people who even bring back someone else's phone number. Did he eat something sour tonight? He's been picking fights all evening. My patience ran out. I pushed him away with a cold face. Who I like is none of your business. Let alone a phone number. Even if I brought someone back here, you have no right to interfere. My heart was already in a bad place, and coming back to his cryptic jabs was the last straw. After spitting out those venomous words, I walked towards the balcony, not wanting to share the same space with him anymore. I hadn't taken more than a few steps when a strong force pulled me back and pushed me onto the bed. Liam pinned my wrists, raising them above my head, his eyes swirling with anger. Ethan, you dare. Why wouldn't I dare? Liam, I've had enough of you. You want to control who I like. Damn it, are you in love with me or something? Liam's face stiffened, and the hand gripping me suddenly loosened. I decided to go all in. At this point, there was nothing left to hide. Liam, damn it, I'm gay. I like you, don't you get it? I yelled. I've had enough of you treating me like a brother while being so inappropriately close to me. If you just see me as a brother, then please, stay away from me from now on. I've been trying so hard to stay in my place. What are you even doing? Tears streamed down my face uncontrollably, and I turned away in humiliation. You wanted to be bros, right? I wiped my tears. Fine. Don't worry, from now on, I'll absolutely never. A warm kiss, carrying the faint scent of tobacco, covered my lips, swallowing the rest of my words. Our lips and teeth met, and my heart, which had been pounding violently, was now clearly singing with wild joy in a hidden corner. I was so stunned by his kiss that I just stared at him blankly. He kissed me. Liam kissed me. Isn't he straight? What does it mean that he kissed me? My brain felt like it was rusted, unable to process this overwhelming information. I don't know how long it was before Liam, slightly out of breath, pulled away from my lips. Meeting my dazed eyes, he said in a helpless tone, "You're supposed to close your eyes when you kiss." I stared blankly and asked, "Is this also something good bros do for each other?" Liam let out a low chuckle, the smile on his lips widening. His fingertip traced the corner of my mouth, his gaze full of affection. "Not good brothers' boyfriends." He asked again, "Didn't you just say you're gay?" His eyes held an unconcealable smile. What a coincidence. So am I. He leaned in closer. And what's even more of a coincidence is that I like you too, Ethan. Liam gently pinched my cheek, not satisfied. What's with that look on your face? I stammered, "Aren't you straight?" Thinking of something, I mumbled, "Are you bisexual then?" Liam was so exasperated he laughed, his voice laced with annoyance. "Who told you I was straight?" I frowned slightly and asked, "Didn't you have a girlfriend in high school?" "I saw a girl feeding you water." Liam frowned, and after a long moment, he asked, "That girl with the pigtails?" "Yeah." His eyes stared at me intently, and then a smile bloomed in their depths. "You've been paying attention to me since back then?" My whole body stiffened, a feeling of panic like being caught red-handed. I defended myself. "Who is paying attention to you? You were standing there like a flashy peacock blocking my way." "I'm not blind. How could I not see you?" The smile on Liam's face didn't fade. He then pulled out his phone from his pocket. After swiping for a bit, he held the phone in front of me. Silly, that's my biological sister. I stared at the family photo on the phone. The girl whose pigtails Liam was pulling was clearly the face from my memory. I stared blankly for a long time. So, I really had misunderstood. Liam put his phone away and said unhurriedly, I could never fall in love with a girl in this lifetime. Meeting his focused, dark eyes, my heart skipped a beat. Then I heard him say leisurely, after all, I fell for a boy back in high school. My preferences are set for life. All my enthusiasm felt like it had been doused with cold water. I lowered my eyes, my emotions a little out of control, unable to suppress the sour feeling in my heart. Aren't you curious who the boy I liked was? A ball of anger was stuck in my chest. I wanted to scream, who's interested in your youthful memories? You're crazy. Liam's lips curled, and he continued on his own. The first time I met him was during freshman military training. The sun was scorching, and during a break, I was planning to go buy a soda. I hadn't walked more than a few steps when the boy in front of me collapsed right in front of me. He scared me. I thought he was trying to scam me. He let out a soft laugh. I carried him to the infirmary, and the school doctor said he had heat stroke. I remember thinking, he's a guy. How can his stamina be worse than a girl's? Once, he was doing a dorm inspection and confiscated my electric hot pot. I tried to reason with him, but he was completely inflexible and even made me write a self-criticism report to the dorm manager. I was so mad. After all, I had saved him. Was this kid repaying kindness with resentment? From that day on, I started paying attention to him, and before I knew it, I couldn't look away anymore. He laughed softly again, mumbling, I don't know what kind of spell he cast on me. I noticed he was often alone. I couldn't understand how a boy could be so quiet. Every time in the cafeteria, for lunch, he would always order the eggplant with minced pork. What? Was this dish so delicious? He ate it for a whole semester without getting tired of it. He was in class 1, I was in class 3. Our classrooms were at opposite ends of the hall. Every 10-minute break, I would deliberately take a walk down the corridor. Unfortunately, that someone was either sleeping or fooling around with his desk mate. During the final sports meet of high school, I saw his name on the registration list for the long-distance run. His stamina was so poor. How did he have the guts to sign up for the 3,000-meter race? On the day of the meet, I was competing in the high jump when he was running. I rushed over as soon as I was done. From a distance, I could see his figure limping on the track. I asked around and found out that someone had cut across the track and collided with him. At that moment, I just wanted to run over, throw him over my shoulder, and carry him away. His knee was scraped up like that. What was he still running for? Did he not want his legs anymore? But in the end, I suppressed my anger and waited at the finish line. When he crossed it, I caught him. At that moment, I thought, this person may be stubborn as hell and have no sense, but once I held him tight, I couldn't bear to let go. It's a pity some fool never knew. In the last semester of high school, the workload was intense. When I went out for some air and passed by someone's classroom window, I heard him telling his female desk mate that he wanted to apply to H University. From that day on, H University became my goal because I wanted to go to the same city as him. I'm a coward. I watched over him for so long but never dared to confess. Liam's fingertips gently brushed against my cheek, and it was only then that I realized I was crying. It was the first time in my life I had cried so hard. And Liam was the culprit. My eyes red, I threw my arms around his neck and actively pressed my lips against his. In the entanglement of our lips and teeth, I tasted the warm, salty flavor of tears. Our breaths mingled, and our hearts trembled in the repeated embraces. Liam held my face, not allowing any resistance as he deepened the kiss. I can't believe how fast you two snuck off. Leo walked into the dorm with a dark expression, starting with a lecture. I went through so much trouble to organize a mixer, and you two, can't you two at least try a little? I poked my head out from the curtain, my face burning. Leo, you don't need to include me in those kinds of activities anymore. Leo frowned, about to speak, when a hot breath tickled my ear. Liam's chin rested on my shoulder, and he said slowly, that includes me. The room was silent for a few seconds. Leo stared at us with a shocked expression. Even his voice was no longer fluent. You guys, this is... Liam's fingertip hooked my chin, and he leaned in to peck my lips, his voice lazy. He's mine now. Leo let out a string of curses. Liam, you damn beast. After Caleb returned, Leo seemed to have found an outlet for his frustration. I told you. If those two stayed together long enough, something was bound to happen. He pointed at me and Liam. See? Didn't my big mouth jinx it? Leo grabbed Caleb's shoulders and shook him vigorously. Now our dorm only has us two single seeds left. Caleb, beside him, looked at him with a blank expression. Leo's face changed drastically, and he pulled his hands back in disbelief. Wait, holy crap. Don't tell me even you're bent. Caleb gave him a disgusted look and cursed, idiot. Then why are you yelling at me? Caleb pushed him away and walked towards the balcony. Leo clung to him relentlessly. Come on, bro, tell me, are you straight or bent? In our 4th year of university, Liam and I started a business together. We chose to rent a 2-story apartment together. The first 2 years were so tiring we could barely breathe. Fortunately, our hard work paid off. Our business gradually got on track. The year we confirmed our relationship, I confessed my orientation to my mother. To this day, I can still remember the shocked and disappointed look in her eyes. At that moment, I felt so guilty. After my father, I had become another person who disappointed her. I know I was selfish, but in this life, I only wanted to be Liam's lover, not some girl's husband. It was my destiny not to live up to her expectations, not to follow the path of marriage and children like most people. I was betting that I could walk hand in hand with Liam for the rest of my life. But at the same time, the guilt I felt towards my mother would be like a broken needle in my flesh, pricking me from time to time. It took my mother nearly a year to accept my relationship with Liam. But I know she just didn't want to lose me. She loved me, so she compromised. It was nearing the end of the year, and she called me to come home for dinner. As she hung up, she mentioned Liam's name. To win over my mother, Liam had been practicing his cooking skills for a long time, saying he wanted to show off in front of her. He finally got his chance. As soon as we entered the house, he rolled up his sleeves and went straight into the kitchen, stunning my mother. My mother later told me that she had originally planned to give him the cold shoulder, but he just lowered his head and got to work in the kitchen, completely messing up her plan. That night, my mother talked to me for a long time. Looking at her graying hair, my guilt reached its peak. My parents divorced when I was 12, and I chose to live with my mother. Our family's financial situation was not good when I was young, but my mother still worked her hardest to support me through college. She was a dutiful mother, but I was not a qualified son. That night, as we were leaving, my mother only said one thing to me, "Live well. You'll always be my pride." On the way back that night, I cried for a long time. Liam silently held me. It wasn't until I had cried myself out that his deep, hoarse voice sounded from above my head. He said, "Ethan, I won't let you lose." Lately, both work and life have been going smoothly, but there's one thing that's been weighing on my mind. In the middle of the night, I was still tossing and turning, unable to sleep. I couldn't help but pull out my phone and once again seek help from the vast online community. I've been with my boyfriend for over 3 years, but every time we're about to take the final step, he slams on the brakes. What should I do? I'm a guy, by the way. At 2 a.m., a flock of night owl netizens started to appear. Next time, just ask him to his face, "Are you not able to get it up?" If he can't perform, then it's your turn to be on top. Break up. If this one doesn't work, find another one. Maybe he's just inexperienced in this area. I suggest finding some time to study with your boyfriend. See if he has some kind of psychological block about it. It's better to talk about this frankly. I was engrossed in scrolling through the comments when an arm wrapped around me and a hoarse voice sounded in my ear. What are you looking at? I guiltily locked the screen and shook my head. Nothing, just couldn't sleep and was scrolling through my phone. He buried his face in the crook of my neck, unconsciously nuzzling me. Go to sleep. Don't stay up late. The next day when I woke up, I stretched and glanced at my phone. It's already 9 a.m. I usually set my alarm for 8 o'clock. Why didn't it go off today? Could Liam have turned it off for me? I unlocked my phone. The top-liked comment on last night's post was the one telling me to ask Liam directly if he could perform. I was about to scroll down when my hand suddenly froze. Wait, when Liam helped me turn off the alarm this morning, he didn't see it, did he? My phone doesn't have a password. You can unlock it with a swipe. As my mind was racing, Liam called from outside the door. Come down for breakfast. At the dining table, I looked at the plate of cut pineapple and asked, a little puzzled, why are we eating fruit so early in the morning? Liam hummed softly. Some things require preparation. I cluelessly swallowed the piece of bread in my mouth. Ethan, let's go get registered. I was so surprised I choked. Liam passed me a glass of milk. I took a sip, confused. Why so suddenly? A few months ago, we had already gotten our passports and submitted an online application to get partnered. We had originally planned to go at the end of next month. I didn't know why Liam had suddenly changed the date. He leaned over and wiped the milk from the corner of my mouth, his eyes darkening slightly. I can't wait any longer. My cheeks flushed. I nodded shyly. Then let's go. It wasn't until the night we officially became legal partners that I finally understood what he meant by can't wait any longer. In the luxurious hotel suite, I leaned against Liam, staring at the silver ring on my hand. Hey, who do you think should be called the husband and who the wife? Or should we both be called husband? The person next to me didn't answer for a long time. I turned my head in confusion, only to see him with his head down, playing with his phone. I was a little unhappy and leaned over to see the interface of my post from yesterday. Liam was replying to the netizens in the comment section one by one. One comment was, he can't get it up. Date me instead. Liam unhurriedly posted a photo of our two hands, wearing silver rings, with our fingers intertwined, and then commented, you don't have a chance. I swallowed guiltily. It's all jokes in the comment section, don't take it seriously. Liam locked his phone, casually tossed it aside, and patted my butt. Be good. Go take a shower. I was most afraid of this side of him, as if he was brewing some wicked plan. Soon, I found out. I'm not wearing this. Staring at the high-waisted, high-slit cheongsam in my hand, I refused, my face beet red. You don't like it? Liam's face showed a hint of regret. He said to himself, I brought other things, but this one is my favorite. His fingertip paused on the small of my back, caressing it, his voice hoarse. This part is designed to be hollowed out. My waist went soft, and I said through gritted teeth, you're so dirty. Half an hour later, Liam got his wish and changed me into it. I curled up on the bed in embarrassment, the tips of my ears burning red. Liam knelt on the edge of the bed, his gaze hot and possessive, as if it were a physical thing glued to my body. Do you want to know what I'm thinking right now? I, both ashamed and angry, threw a pillow at him, snapping no. Liam let out a low laugh, grabbing my ankle and leaning over to press me down. You'll know in a little while anyway. My whole body was burning up. I was like a fish out of water, being scorched by the hot sun. My earlobe was taken into a warm mouth, and my back tensed up, trembling unconsciously. Are you hungry? My glazed-over eyes suddenly lit up. Sob, I'm hungry. I seized the opportunity and cried, begging, I'm hungry. Hurry up and stop. I can't take it anymore. My back is about to break. Liam's fingertip brushed against the corner of my lips, his Adam's apple bobbing. Don't be scared. I'll feed you now. I lay limply on the bed, my mind still not having recovered from what had just happened. Liam held my chin, caressing it, and stared at the tear that had seeped from the corner of my eye, a wicked smile on his face. Sweet, isn't it? Did you like it? My body trembled violently, and I was so angry I wanted to scratch him. No wonder he'd been eating pineapple with every meal for the past few days. This dog with a belly full of bad intentions. I opened my eyes. Liam, lying next to me, was still asleep. My body ached with every movement. Remembering someone's wicked behavior last night, I viciously pinched his nose in retaliation. Someone's brow furrowed slightly, and he groggily opened his eyes. Don't mess around, he said, fumbling to pull me into his arms. I snorted softly and let go. Looking at his messy hair, the corners of my lips couldn't help but curve up. The light from outside the window streamed through the curtains, golden specks of light dancing on his brows and eyes. I carefully traced his features. The man in front of me, after so many years, could still make my heart flutter countless times. Accompanied by the chirping of summer cicadas, the teenager in the school uniform leaned against the railing, laughing cheerfully. I walked down the corridor with my head down, and as I passed him, I couldn't help but turn my head to look, only to crash into that pair of sparkling, bright eyes. In my dull and boring youth, I fell for a boy. And now I will walk hand in hand with him into a future that belongs to us. And that's the end of the story. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to support us. Yeah,